ECDL Advanced, PowerPoint, Lesson 19, Arranging Objects. Individual objects can be moved and resized by clicking and dragging, but there are also commands available to align and position them with far greater accuracy. A grid and ruler can be displayed to assist when moving objects around. Okay, I've opened the PowerPoint presentation Shapes, which you'll find in your data area. I'm looking at slide 1 and I'm looking at it in normal view. I want the ruler and the grids to be displayed, so display the View tab and make sure ruler and grid lines are both checked. Next, we want to find a blank part of the slide, so not over this section where the text box is, or over the three objects. I'm going to right click on the blank part of the slide, select Grid and Guides, select Snap Objects to Grid, so check that. This will align objects with horizontal and vertical grid lines that are on the slide. If we click the drop-down arrow in the spacing section and select 2 grids per centimetre, this will produce a spacing of 0.5 centimetres. Make sure Display Grid on Screen is selected, which it is, and then click OK. Now, if we slowly try and drag the rectangle around the slide, just notice how it jumps and sticks to the grid lines. That's those dots that are spaced 0.5 centimetres apart. Next, display the Grid and Guides dialog box again. So again, it's right click in a white section, Grid and Guides, and this time we're going to remove the tick mark, that's remove the check from Snap Objects to Grid, and then click OK. Now if we try and move the rectangle, and this time we'll see that it moves far more smoothly without jumping. Next, reapply Snap Objects to Grid, but uncheck Display Grid on Screen. Then click OK. If we now move the triangle around, we can see the effect of the new grid settings. So again, it's jumpy again, trying to get to the grid that we can't see. In the Grid and Guides dialog box, select the option to display drawing guides on screen, that's this one here, and then click OK. Notice that a horizontal and a vertical guide are displayed, which divide the slide into 4 areas for layout purposes. Objects snap to drawing guides if they're present. Click and drag the vertical guide a few centimetres to the left, and then the horizontal guide a few centimetres further down. This new layout will be available on all slides in the presentation. Next, display the Grid and Guides dialog box again. And this time remove the tick from Display Drawing Guides on Screen. And then press OK. If you don't want to see the ruler, remove the check from the ruler, which you'll find in the Show group of the View tab. You'll notice that the display of grid lines and guides can also be controlled from here. Shapes can actually be positioned even more exactly on the slide. To specify the rectangle's position, right-click on it, select Size and Position, and this will display the Format Shape pane on the right-hand side with the size options on view. Okay, if we select Position, we want to change the horizontal position to 2 centimeters and the vertical position to 10 centimeters. As far as the from for both horizontal position and vertical position, leave these as top left-hand corner. If we now close the pane, the rectangle will be positioned exactly at that precise location. Next, use any method to select all of the objects on the slide. So I'm going to select, then Control Select and Control Select. We're now selecting all three. With all objects selected and the drawing tools or picture tools if you're using 365, the drawing tools format tab is displayed. Within there, click on Align, which will be in the Arrange group. Make sure you're aligning to slide rather than align to selected objects. Then click Align again and select Align Bottom. So all of the objects are now aligned with the bottom edge of the slide. If we then click Align again, we can then distribute horizontally. And now, as we can see, they're spread out evenly across the page. Now, in order to do the next bit, I'm just going to reduce the size of each of these objects. Now, while the three objects are still selected, back to Align, and this time apply left, and we'll see that they're all covering each other up. However, if we then go Align and then distribute vertically, it will now spread the three objects evenly vertically. As an aside, if Align Selected Objects is selected instead of Align to Slide, the objects would be aligned and distributed only within the object group itself. I would strongly suggest that you practice using the different aligning and distributing options from the Align menu to rearrange different groups of objects. Notice the difference when the Align Selected Objects option is selected. As a final aside, Smart Guides help align shapes to similar vertical and horizontal locations. Okay, at that stage, let's leave that as is. There's no need to save. The next topic we're going to look at is how to crop images, which will be lesson 20. I look forward to seeing you then.